if I know the answer.
Yeah. By the way po, I noticed hindi yata kayo tumaba. Yung iba po nagtabaan ngayong pandemic.
Yan ang sa ginagawa ko, nag-exercise ako eh.
Ano pong exercise yan?
Hindi ko ma-describe sa iyo. Sarili kong ginawa yan. Bago ako umalis sa kama, mag-exercise muna ako. Makahiga. Lahat ng kampo, lahat ng joints, from the tip of my toes, all the way to my neck, I'll have to move them.
Okay.
Including the muscles.
Okay. Yung ano po, kinakain, okay naman po? Vegetables, gano'n, or...
Ako, ang kinakain ko lang kung umaga, well, a slice of bread. Then at noontime, fish, crustaceans, vegetables. At night, not too much.
Okay. Ayun. So ano po, okay, so we're live and ito po, I'm just so happy to be again with former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. I think wala na po ako kailangang introduction sa inyo. Everybody knows you. And marami po sa mga generation ko po, Senator, marami natutuwa dun sa mga memes kung tawagin. Yung mga, na si Brownie, ganyan, si T-Rex, ganyan. Ewan ko po, parang aware naman yata po kayo.
Ang hindi na lang nila ginawa na ako si Mephistopheles. Hindi nila ako linagyan ng sungay pa, no?
Ay, okay. Medyo bilo. Pero, po, minsan, natanong ko po sa apo nyo, na pinaupo kayo sa garden tapos may mga dinosaurs sumasayaw.
Mga apo ko yan. Panay, mga babae na mga apo ko. Dahil sa aking buhay, dalawa lang ang lalaking apo ko. Isa kay Katrina, isa kay Jack. O ganon din si Katrina may 3 babae, si Jack din may 3 babae.
Opo. Ayun. So, ayun po, Senator, kaya ko po na kayo na-invite for this interview. Dalawang parts po ito. Dalawang parts. So, yung first part, dito muna po tayo sa law school years nyo po. Kamusta po ba nung estudyante kayo sa law school?
Nung panahon namin, wala kami mga kagaya ninyo ngayon na may mga iPad, mayroong mga cellphone, mayroong mga computer, pwede kayong mag-Google, pwede kayong mag-online. Wala yan. Lahat ginagawa namin, basa ng mga libro, mga cases, mga codal provision, civil code, mga rules of court, constitution, lahat na yan. Statutory laws, pati mga jurisprudence, mga legal writings.
Opo.
Wala yan eh. At ang ginagamit namin, hindi word processor. Ginagamit namin makinilya. Kaya mahirap ang katayuan namin doon. At limited na mga libro dahil kung nagtatrabaho ka sa law, maaari na you have access to their library. Ngayon naman, sa mga universities, sa mga colleges, kung meron sila magandang library, marami kang mababasa. At ang accessible lang sa amin, Philippine reports, United States reports, Supreme Court reports, state reports, rulings, cases, American cases, mga writings of non-civilists, non-constitutionalists, non-criminologists.
Opo. Tumatambay po ba kayo sa library dati?
Oo, paminsan-minsan. Pero ako, ang swerte ko dahil nung ako'y nag-aaral, Eh, my father had law office, so I was the librarian of the law office, so I have access to all the books.
Opo. So,
And
okay.
I did not have a car at that time because this is liberation. So I ride the bus from our law office in Plaza Cervantes near Jones Bridge in Manila. Then I walk all the way to Quiapo Church. From our law office, I ride the bus, and from that bus all the way to Diliman, I continue reading. I read cases that I want to read. May aside. Ganun na mga estudyante noon.
Okay po. So, dun dati po ba, you said you rode the bus. May times po ba nakatayo din kayo sa bus?
Oo. Pero kalimitan naman hindi masyado ang pasahero noon dahil magaan pa ang traffic. Hindi kagaya ngayon, gested ng Maynila. Hindi naman makapal ang population ng Maynila after the war.
Okay. Tapos naranasan nyo rin po ba dati na meron na po bang mga jeep na sumabit kayo sa jeep o hindi nyo naranasan yun?
Pati nung naglo-law practice ako, naka-jeep ako na pupunta sa Husgado. Hindi lang nung estudyante ako.
Okay. Alright. So, okay.
Nadudukutan din ako noon. May mga pickpocket.
Nadukutan din po kayo. Okay.
Dinaanan ko lahat. Kaya medyo wise ako sa mga ganyan na bagay.
Opo. So, ano po bang pakiramdam na during the liberation after World War II, ano yung pakiramdam ng isang estudyante during that time?
Dahil galing kami sa gera, yung generation namin, mga suspend ang studies nila, wala kaming, basta aral ang ginagawa namin at ang mga damit lang namin, mga kaki, mga fatig, mga olive green. Wala naman masyadong magagamit noon. At sa mga sapatos namin made in China. Pangtibay, yung mga iba, maswerte ka kung meron kang mabili na American shoes, mostly.
Opo. Okay. So, doon time na po ba yun, meron kayong ding mga parang pang-agam-agam o fear na baka sakaling magkagera ulit o baka may magka-problema ulit sa politika, ganyan?
Wala. Dahil at that time, na-discover na ng Amerika ang nuclear. Wala makalaban sa Amerika. Kaya matatag ang kalooban namin sa aking sarili. Medyo wala akong kaba dahil galing ako sa gera. Nasabak ako na sa guerrilla nung panahon ng Hapon. Nahuli pa nga ako at tinorture ako nila. That's why I'm a member of ROTC Hunter.
Okay, ROTC Hunter. Dito sa May Rizal?
Nationwide yan nun .
Okay.
I was in the north and I was recruited while I was in the north.
Okay. So, dahil po nakaranas kayo ng gera, tingin nyo po, mas parang yung takot, hindi ganong malaki kasi parang mas malala naman yung naranasan nyo during the war.
Yeah.
Okay.
At saka matahimik ang buhay ng Maynila noon. Walang masyadong walang nagrarally, walang gulo. Basta mga tao, walang iniisip kundi hanap buhay.
Okay. Tapos, kinabahan din po ba kayo sa recitation nyo?
Hindi. Pinag-aaral ako. Hindi ako pupunta sa eskwela na hindi ko napag-aralan na mabuti yung assignment.
Opo. Pero kahit po ba napag-aralan nyo?
Kung minsan, nakikipag-diskusyon ako sa mga profesor, kaya buwisit sila sa akin.
Okay. Pero kahit po ba aral na aral kayo, minsan po ba natakot din kayo sa pagsagot?
Merong mga striktong mga profesor. Halimbawa, kung hindi, ewan ko kung narinig ninyo, si Gaudencio Garcia, professor ko yun sa political,
Garcia.
ay napakahigpit yun. At saka si Enrique Fernando, si Vicente Abad Santos, Emiliano Navarro sa criminal law. Mahihigpit ang mga profesor. Kailangan mag-aaral ka mabuti para hindi ka matatarad pa sa loob ng class.
May time po ba na hindi kayo nakasagot? May naalala kayong gano'n, hindi kayo nakasagot?
Wala ako natatanda na hindi ko nasagot yung question.
Okay. Ayun. So, buti po pala kayo, parang okay naman yung experience nyo. So, tanong ko lang po, sino po yung mga, natandaan yung, parang mga, ano yung mga experiences nyo with these professors na tingin nyo nagkaroon ng impact sa inyo?
Lahat sila. Ang aking professor sa Persons and Family Relations, babae si Mrs. Lauria. I forgot her first name already. And then first year si Mrs. Lauria, si Gaudencio Garcia, pati si Ramon Aquino, naging Chief Justice ng Supreme Court, naging professor ko yun, dalawang Chief Justice, marami.
Okay. Tapos, magaling po ba kayo mag-memorize?
Medyo.
Pero saan po kayo mas magaling? Memorization or analysis?
Pareho. Kaya hindi ko pinag-aaralan yung batas na hindi ko naiintindihan. Ganon din yung mga cases na assigned.
Okay. Nagda-digest din po ba?
Dahil pag naintindihan mo, yung binabasa mo, yung provision, and you can recite it in your own words without having to be literal doon sa provision ng batas. At ibig mo, alam mo ang situational, factual, situational element na tinutukoy ng provision, medyo tatag ang kalooban mo.
Okay. During that time po ba, nagki-case digest na rin kayo?
Oo. Nagki-case digest na kami.
So, meron po ba kayong mga techniques na pwedeng i-share sa amin? Naalala niyo po ba?
Kailangan sarili mo yan eh. You have to analyze the decision, make a brief, and learn to pick up the essential facts that will explain the provision that was used to decide the case.
Okay. Tapos, during that time po ba, nung nasa law school kayo, meron kayong nakita na basa na inisip nyo someday gusto nyong baguhin sa batas? O wala? Wala. So during that time, you were not thinking of entering into politics?
No, wala. Basta we were studying it to use it for hanap buhay.
Okay. So perspective nyo is for hanap buhay. Hindi, kasi po yung iba nga pumapasok dahil sa politika eh. So during that time, hindi. More of hanap buhay.
Hindi mo kailangan na maging abogado para maging politiko.
Okay. Alright. So nung paano na po ba yun? Ano po ba yung parang, meron po ba kayong parang pinaka stricto or pinaka mahirap na subject?
Sa akin, I considered all my subjects to be the major subjects, civil code, civil law, rules of court, rules of evidence. Yan ang mga importante, constitutional law.
Okay.
And commercial law.
Commercial.
By the way, sa commercial law, I got 100% in the bar.
Wow!
And my bar examiner became my opponent later on in the case. I beat him.
Di ba po siya
In
yung...
fact, he said in my bar examination notebook, if you need any job, see me. Because he was so impressed with my bar performance.
Okay. Tapos, okay. Ngayon po, Senator, merong nauusong style sa pagsagot sa bar questions. So, merong response, legal basis, analysis, saka application, saka conclusion. May ganung format din po ba kayo dati?
Wala kaming ganyan. Basta kami bali todo eh. We will answer the way we want to answer a question in the bar examination. The shorter your answer will be, the better. And you have to have a very legible handwriting to be able to, because ako nagturo ako eh. Kung masamsulat mo, mahirap basahin yung answer mo, nabubuisit yung profesor. Ako nabubuisit sa mga masasamaang penmanship.
Okay. So, pag sumasagot po ba kayo, do you cite the article, reference, or you just say according to law?
No, I am not according to law. I said, I'll just recite the facts, and I said, the applicable provision used to decide this case is this. Oh.
So you recite the provision?
Yeah.
Wow! Ang galing niyo po. Pero, ganito po, baka isipin po nung iba, baka maisipin ng iba talagang baka lang matalino kayo, masyado kayong mayaman, o meron kayong years of experience. Tanong ko lang po, let's just...
Hindi ako mayaman nun.
Okay. So, let's just...
Mahirap. Nagaling ako sa hirap eh. Oh.
Okay. So, tanong ko lang po, kasi para bigyan natin ng background yung ibang nakikinig, mga what time age po kayo natapos ng high school?
I was, because of the war, I finished my high school at the age of, I was 23.
When you finished high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I finished my law at the age of 29.
You finished law school age 29?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, ako po kasi ngayon, I'm going 25. I might finish law school then 28 or 29. So, ayun. So, at least, we're not too late. Okay.
By the way, I have only 2.5 years of high school. Because I finished first year, the war broke out. And I up to 1945, I was not in school. I was in the jungles. And when I found my father, because I was born out of wedlock, that's why I specialized in the rights of children. So I only finished first year. So because of my age, my father was able to enroll me after the war in 1945 when I met him in St. James Academy, the school of the Marinol Sisters in Malabon, in the second semester of third year. So I finished the second semester of third year and fourth year, plus first year. Now, after I graduated from St. James, I could not graduate because of that. So they asked me to take a validating examination for all the subjects that I could not account for during that period when I finished my first year and up to the semester of third year. I took it at Centro Escolar in Manila.
Okay. All right. So, you told us that your father was a lawyer, and
yeah,
but
he was.
Okay.
He had one of the biggest law offices in Manila. It was DeWitt, Perkins, and Ponce Enrile.
Okay.
First, it was DeWitt, Perkins, Brady, and Ponce Enrile. Brady died, so it became DeWitt, Perkins, and Ponce Enrile.
Okay.
That's why our clients involved the old corporations in the Philippines. Benguet, Lepanto, San Miguel, PLDT, Atlantic Gold, Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank, and name them, and we had them.
Okay. But did you have, before you entered law school, baka isipin po nung iba na all your life you were prepared by your father. No, that's not the case, di ba?
No. My father did not teach me, or he told me, I learned my law by myself. You have to it yourself.
Okay. And he did not know.
You know, that is the problem of some students. They do not like harsh and hard professors. They do not realize that if you're under strict and hard professors and you're forced to learn, that will bring you up easier and still in life.
Okay. So, and your father did not know you until after the war.
Until I met my father actually about June of August of 1945.
Okay, August of 1945.
That was my first time to meet the man who brought me into this world.
Okay. And before that, he did not know that you existed.
He did not. The war brought about my meeting with my half sisters, the legitimate children of my father, when I was already in the underground, because they come also from the province of Cagayan, and I was born there, and I was the product of his romance with my mother while he was campaigning for the House of Representatives when he was a practicing lawyer in my province.
Okay. So we can
because,
see... Okay.
You see, because my father was among those Filipinos selected to go to America to become scholars. Sila Bocobo, sila De Hoya, sila Gaudencio Garcia, yung mga yan. Sila Espiritu din, who's a spirit of UP, all of that. Oh.
Okay. So, sino po yung mga naging kaklase nyo? May mga naging kaklase po ba kayo na eventually helped shape our national history?
Yeah, Rafael Salas was my classmate in UP.
Opo.
Estelito Mendoza was 1 year ahead of me. Totoy Feliciano was 1 year ahead of me. And many others.
Okay.
I also had students who went up to the Supreme Court. Artemio Panganiban, the Chief Justice, was my student in FEU.
Okay. So, by the way po, whenever I read your writings about Rafael Salas, it seems like he's a great man. I mean, right now we don't know much about him. Why do you think he's such a great man, Rafael Salas?
He was he is the most one of the brightest students of UP. Or he was Secretary he was the pillar of UN. He was the one who established the population division of UN.
Oh, wow.
He was executive secretary of President Marcos. And that is why I got involved with the Marcos government, because it was him who introduced me to President Marcos.
Okay.
I did not want to be a government employee. Had I wanted to be in government, I would have. I graduated when Ramon Magsaysay was elected president. He was very good friend of my father. He was asking me to work for him in Malacanang, where Rafael Salas was his one of his men. That is where Paeng Salas started.
Okay, and I think okay.
I refused to join. In fact, President Magsaysay went to Malabon, to our house, to ask my father if he could help me. And my father said, "Well, you ask him, because he has his own mind."
Okay.
And I beg off.
Okay, okay. And but it seems that I mean, I read your book. It seems that you're very sad that Paeng Salas, like went out of the Philippines.
Yeah, because he was not cut out to be a bureaucrat. He did not feel comfortable working in the government. So he finally decided to quit. And in fact, he did not even ask permission from the president. He escaped, actually, because when Paeng Salas and I joined the Marcos government, we had a contract with the president then to stay only for 1 year. When the 1 year was over and we went to see him one afternoon in Malacanang, we talked to the First Lady, Imelda Marcos, that we want to be out of the government and go back to private life. The president was playing golf, so she asked us to wait for the president. And when he came, from the other side of the Pasig River, and he saw us, he said, "What are you guys doing here?" And he said, Mrs. Marcos said, "They're here to say goodbye because they want to go back to private life." And he said, "Are you kidding? You have to stay." So, because Paeng was unhappy in his job. He was executive secretary. He designed the rice program of the country at that time. He was a very brilliant guy. He was trained to be a politician, but he got disillusioned. So one day he asked me to bring a letter to the president at 6 o'clock in the afternoon when the airplane is already out of the country. And that was his resignation. That's how he got out. He worked out while he was in Malacanang to get a job in UN.
Okay. All right. So
he is the only guy who has read all the books of Plato. So the whole dialogue of Plato was he mastered them.
Wow. Okay.
He was a complete politician and executive.
Okay. Let's go back a little more during your law school years, Senator. What was your routine every day? Were you a working student?
Yeah, I was working. I was earning 120 pesos a month as a librarian of a law office.
Okay. So what was your routine every day?
Huh?
Did you have a routine?
Well, my routine then was I was living in Malabon, so I had to take a jeepney ride from my seat of Malabon all the way to Pretil in Tondo, and Dagupan, Reina Regente, and all the way to our law office every morning to go to my job. And then my classes were in the afternoon. I leave the office at 12 and go to school in the afternoon. And from Diliman, I take a bus from there all the way to Sangandaan in Caloocan and go back home.
Okay. So, okay. So, during those times, did you also save money during those times?
Yes. 120 pesos a month then was more than enough for my upkeep.
Okay. And ano po yung mga kinakain nyo nun?
Yung pansit.
Pansit. Okay.
Yung mami ni yung anong pangalan no, famous na mami just noon ang main store nila, restaurant nila was on Quezon Boulevard, near Quiapo.
Okay. And during that time po ba may love life kayo?
Wala.
Talaga?
Hindi ako walang ligaw-ligaw sa akin nung nag-aaral ako ng law.
Okay.
Basta I concentrated on my studies.
Wala din po mga fling? Wala din?
Wala. Hindi ako I just go to the movie during Saturdays.
Alone?
Sa Sunday, I start studying all the way to Friday. On Saturday, I took a break.
Okay.
I go to the movie.
So,
I never saw a nightclub.
Okay. And is it true po you don't drink
I
beers?
don't.
Okay.
I don't drink. Occasionally I take a glass of beer, or sometimes I take a sip of Scotch whiskey, but I'm not really a drinker.
Okay. But do you smoke? Did you smoke back then?
I smoked at the age of 10. And I stopped at the age of 60.
Yeah. And what was the reason why you stopped smoking? What was the reason why you stopped smoking?
Well, I stopped because one day I was already in government. I went to my lavatory to brush my teeth. When I cough, I saw my cough to be very black. So I said, my God, I destroyed all my, I threw away my lighters. I soaked in water all my cigarettes, and I was smoking very matapang na mga sigarilyo noon, Winston. So,
okay.
Tinigil ko na. I started smoking Cycle, Piedmont, Akebono, Chesterfield, wala na yung mga yun. Noon.
Okay. Okay, last question sa law school years. That's after done, we'll move to another topic. During your law school years po ba, did you have like group assignments, group projects?
Wala. Kanya-kanya.
Kanya-kanya noon?
Wala. Kanya-kanya.
And, so noon po, kayo po, you handled your like terror professors well. You think na naging okay naman kayo sa mga classes na yun?
Oo. Wala naman akong nakaaway ng mga professor ko.
Okay. Kami ang first batch ng law students sa Diliman. Oh.
We were I entered Diliman in 1949.
So, before the war, wala?
Sa Padre Paura, ang UP noon.
Okay. Tama.
tabi ng Ateneo de Manila sa Padre Faura. Later on, after the war, they opened up the Diliman campus. And we were the first batch of first-year law students in Diliman.
Okay, sige po. Alright. Ngayon po,
by the way, Ninoy was behind me. He was, when I was in second year, he was first year.
Law school?
Yeah, in Diliman, yeah.
Wait, so Ninoy took up law? I thought he was just a journalist.
No, he took up law, but he stopped afterwards.
Oh, okay. Alright. So, let's move naman po dun sa next topic. Ano po yung nakikita nyo parang best practices sa COVID-19 response?
Sa COVID?
Opo, 19. Yung response ng government. Ano yung nakita nyo yung best practices so far?
Well, yung ginagawa nila sa quarantine, kailangan yan eh. There's no other way to arrest this. Confine the people in their homes and then take sanitary measures.
Okay. But how about, how do we need, sabi diba, trade-off between health and economy?
Health and?
Economy.
No, you need a healthy population to have a healthy economy.
Okay.
You cannot choose one or the other.
Okay. But what
that's why I'm advocating that the administration will open up all the economic activities in the country under strict measures in order that the economy will not suffer too much. Because we might be able to solve the COVID, but we'll have a bigger problem when you have a depression in the country, economic depression.
Okay. Do you think we should have tax incentives during this time?
For what?
For example, for online sellers, for farmers, and small and medium enterprises.
There is no need. What is needed is if the government has the money to provide in the budget enough money to induce economic activities in the country. But there must be a quid pro quo, not dole outs, but they must work for it.
Okay. So you okay, let's just make it clear. So you believe that we should open up economic activities but under strict measures.
Yes.
Okay.
No, let the owners of business enterprises take the measures to protect their own employees. The government should not carry the whole burden. It must be a total national mobilization.
Okay. Do you think the private sector has to have more say in how the government shapes its policies?
No. The government must set the policies.
Okay.
The country must follow. Well, they have to consult the private sector. But the actual decision and the choices of what will be the tools to run the economy, to run the government, and to run the society belongs to the state.
Okay. All right. And okay. But what about yung sa parang partnership natin with China? What can you say about that? Sorry.
Geographically, we cannot ignore China. We will be stupid if we are going to ignore China. It is a reality we are in this region, Southeast Asia. We are in this Asian area. We cannot lift our country and go somewhere else that we like. We are here, period. So we have to deal with China. Now, in dealing with China, we should not foreclose our relationship with America. Yeah, that can be done. By God, in the case of Germany, when Otto von Bismarck was the head of Prussia, and later on the United Germany, after the integration of the 37 Prussian separate statelets, was dealing with 5 countries at the same time. And it is an art. That should be the area of our diplomats to design a relationship with China and America without at the same time being too dependent on one or the other.
Okay, so at least...
And without foreclosing our initiative to strengthen our own capability as a country.
Okay, so at least we're clear na we should not be too dependent on any of those.
Correct.
Okay.
Self-reliance.
Okay.
Oh, and then, my God, China is a big market. You produce all the gloves that you want to produce and sell it to China, you will become rich.
Okay. Although there are countries who are moving away from China right now, like India, and there are countries... Hello?
Well, because there is a reason. There is a reason for that. China and India are close to each other. They have a boundary between them, and there are territorial claims in that area, in the Himalayan area. And then there's the Tibet problem, the Arunachal area, and then the other one near Kashmir.
Okay. How do you think we can escape the Chinese debt trap na tinatawag ng iba? Yung with loans and all, and eventually we will be too reliant.
Well, we have to improve our economy and borrow only what we can afford. No? Don't flood the country with borrowed money, because if you borrow so much beyond the capacity of the country to service, then the country will have to answer for its foreign loans.
Okay, so you don't think we need to borrow some more? You think we have enough money here?
We can borrow development funds from China. And unlike in the case of Sri Lanka, what Sri Lanka did was they borrowed money, and I think to develop a port there in Sri Lanka, and they could not pay it. And so in order to pay back, they had to make an arrangement that China will own that port for a certain period of time to recover their investment.
Okay, I see. But you're not, for example, there was a suggestion to make our patrimonial properties as collateral. Do you think that's dangerous?
No, we will not. We must not do that.
Okay.
It must be straight loan.
Okay. And
it is the one that would answer the loan will be our economy. As long as the money is used for investment, public investment in the country, roads, bridges, irrigation canals, power, all of that, they will pay back.
Okay. And do you think, Senator, do you think we should improve in handling human rights cases?
In what way?
Sorry?
What's wrong with our treatment of our human rights? Are you not free? Are you not happy? Human rights is a problem only of those who are rebelling against the government, against the state.
Okay, I see. I understand. But for example, the European Union said that they might withdraw our trade perks if we don't improve in handling human rights cases.
Oh, that you know, you have to understand. Some of those crazy parliamentarians in the EU are members of the United Front of the Communist International.
Okay, so all right, but
anyway, we should not worry too much about EU. It's about to collapse.
oh, okay, but in terms of our economy, have you do you have suggestions on how to improve our economy so that we could be more self-reliant?
You know, we should not concentrate all the job creation in and around Metro Manila. We should disperse it. That is the purpose of the special economic zones that I introduced in Congress, in order to spread your economic center so that in case of war, if they hit Metro Manila, we are paralyzed. We are destroyed as a country. But if you spread out the economic centers in the country, they can hit one, but you still have others to survive. And this century, you will see a series of wars where we will become involved.
Okay. By the way, can you give us, not everybody can understand what a special economic zone is. So what is a special economic zone?
A special economic zone is especially a free port, like what I have in the province of Cagayan, which they did not understand how to run it. It is a free customs territory. The customs laws of the country do not operate within the territorial jurisdiction of the free port. You can bring in goods there, make it a depot, and the goods are stay there, and you pay duties only when they are brought out from the perimeter of that enclave. That is a free port. Okay. And you give a tax differential for people who are doing business in the free port so that people are attracted to set up their businesses in that area, and they create more jobs where people can become well off because they do not spend too much money for transportation. They go to their work by walking perhaps. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, understand. So, all right. So that's a special economic zone. Now, in terms of military, do you think it's safe for? I'm not gonna name a country, but do you think it's safe for for foreigners to have something to say with the technology our military uses for communication?
Like what?
Like for example, the recent franchise given to Dito, a Chinese telecommunications company, that they say might tap some of our military communication resources.
Even if we keep our communication to ourselves, don't kid yourself. They know what's going on in the country. Oh. So unlike before, you can really protect yourself. But today, technology is so fast already, and in the country we have enough talent to protect our communication infrastructure.
Okay. So better if we get from our own.
The trouble with us is that we like to copy from other countries. Our people have the brain, if they're motivated, to produce the technology for this country.
Okay. So you believe that it's better in the future we could tap our own to develop these communication like machinery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What is your fear of China? After all, if China really wants to take over this country, they can take over in 24 hours. You don't kid yourself.
All right.
Oh, and why not deal with China and get the most out of it? Just like the others. In Africa, China is developing the countries of Africa, including South America, including Europe, for that matter.
Okay. All right. Okay. But okay, but again, just like you said, if there are, you know, like investors, businessmen, or Filipino brains, scientists, or, you know, those who can create technology here, better if we encourage them and give them the resources to the resources to develop. Okay. All right. But do you think?
Excuse me.
Sure, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. But do you think our military should have more spending in improving our technology? I'm sorry, do you think we need to have more spending in improving military technology?
More money.
Yeah.
For them to spend in research. Yes, why not?
Okay.
But, you know, during Marcos years, we started the military defense self-reliance program. We wanted to make our own arms, make our own planes, make our own weapons, ammunitions, and so forth and so on. Quartermaster, but that was stopped by the Cory government. The Bataan nuclear plant was intended for power, but behind that facade was a project known as Santa Barbara to produce what Iran is doing now, our own nuclear weapons. If that program was not stopped by Cory Aquino, then today we would be a highly respected country.
Okay. And by this time, if ever we have nuclear weapons or nuclear energy, you know, China will not, you know, I mean, we have more capability to show against, I mean, China's invading tactics.
We will be, that is the weakness of our economy, energy, because we depend on fossil fuel and we import that fuel. We have geothermal, we have hydro electric power system, we have wind power, solar system, but those are not enough. If we continued with that nuclear power plant, maybe today we will not be so fearful that a war in the Middle East will derail our economic progress. We would be very progressive now, and we would not be paying that much high money-wise for our electricity. The country would have benefited for it, out of it.
Do you think it's too late to start it over again?
It is not too late, but where do you get the money?
Okay.
It's expensive now. Before, what was the cost of the nuclear plant in Bataan? $16 million. Now maybe you can build it for $16 billion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
it was a stupid policy decision.
Okay. But okay. So but right now, I mean, coming from this point on, it's better if we try to resurrect talks within and get private partnerships and do you think foreign investments could also help?
Well, of course. There's no country in the world, even China, even Germany, France, for that matter, that does not depend on foreign investment. The only country that can say they do not have the foreign investment is America, because you have 52 states that trade with one another. Each one of those states is a country by itself. It has its own economy. The only they do not have is sovereignty. And the GNP of America, of US, the contribution of foreign trade to them, that's why so cocksure and so easygoing. The contribution of foreign trade to them is 12%, but of that 12%, more than 6% is contributed by Mexico and Canada. So the balance is spread out around the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, and so forth and so.
Okay. Okay. But do you think, I mean, this is not, this is just like a random idea. Do you think partnering with Israel would be a good idea to help us develop our, like these energy, military resources?
We have to do it on our own. If Israel was able to do it on their own, we can do it on our own. My God.
Okay. All right. So we should really start looking at our own people to develop this.
Yes.
Okay.
We have human sources in the country that can handle it. My God, my son is into that. And he has developed a program. Even the Israelis are wondering how they were able to do it.
Okay. And right now, for example, as we are thinking on how to move from this pandemic, tapping our own people to develop these like multi-billion or this high cost projects. Do you think it would be a good investment to do during the pandemic to tap them now?
This is not that. How can you tap them when they are fearing for their lives?
Okay.
We must first thing first. No, open go back to work. Open the economy again.
Okay.
And let people have the work, because if no people do not have the work, nobody can consume. So if nobody consumes, no production. No production, no tax. The government will become weakened.
Okay. So, one thing to make our let's just rephrase. One way to make our country stronger is to open the economy while having these health measures going to work and inside the work.
To produce a strong country, use your own people. Don't depend on others.
Okay.
We invite them to come because we need the capital, but the manpower to use that capital and produce the necessary wherewithal of our economy must be the Filipino people themselves.
Okay. All right. So now we just have like 10 to 20 more minutes, and okay. In case a politician would come to you, would go to you and ask for your suggestions, insights on how to, like, what he should do or achieve in the next 2 years in preparation of 2022 elections, what would you tell that person?
I will tell them to have energy security.
Energy.
The heart of every economy is energy. You take out that energy and it's like the blood in your body. Nothing moves, nothing happens in the country. You become uncivilized.
Okay. So we must develop the energy sector.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think it can produce jobs?
My God, there is Benham rice.
Okay.
Why don't we explore that? Open it to exploration.
Okay. But do you think we can improve the energy sector while in the pandemic? Do you think there are safe measures that we can do to do that?
We have to find geothermal sources of energy.
Okay.
That is why Marcos started it, because we wanted to be self-sufficient in energy. Just imagine if a war breaks out in the Middle East. If something happens in Africa, those are the sources of our fuel. So Russia is too far away. America is far away. By the way, America is going to be self-sufficient in energy. Other shale, oil is becoming very much. So we get our oil from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, the Emirates, and so forth and so on. We cannot draw from Iran. I do not know whether we are waiting from the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and so forth. In those places, Kazakhstan is too landlocked to be source of energy for us. Russia is too far away. So we draw it from Nigeria, maybe from Angola, from the African states, and Persian Gulf. Now, if something happens in those places and we are shut off, what will happen here? We'll just depend on our solar, wind power, hydro, and geothermal. It will contract our economy.
Okay, I see. But what measures do you think we can do? Because in terms of campaigning for the energy sector, because it's not a popular idea. Like, people are focused on human rights, on other peripherals. So how do we improve the campaign for the energy sector?
I am for human rights, but it's to pronounce an issue to occupy our attention. We should think of how we can save our assets if something goes wrong outside of this country, especially the energy producing countries.
Okay, but and do you think if we improve the energy sector, we improve the economy, the idea of human rights would be or injustice? I mean, it would be more affordable for the people.
But the trouble is, what is problem about the human rights of the people?
Well,
you can talk all you want. You can rally as long as it is peaceful. You can do your thing if you want. You don't want to work, you don't have to work. You travel inside the country, nobody prohibits you. What is the human right that is involved here? Right to life? Are there gulags here? Or concentration camps? My God, who are advocating all of this? The people who want to establish the dictatorship of the proletariat. And what is that? Rigidity, totalitarianism, where there is no human rights.
I understand. Okay. By the way, do you think the government should have an academic freeze, declare an academic freeze, stop school, or no? Do you think school should continue?
Oh, my God, we cannot stop educating your people. That is the system to inculcate the values of the country to the young.
Okay.
We cannot. We must continue.
Okay. But of course, with measures and mechanisms to make sure everybody is safe. Okay.
Yes, but there's no easy thing in this life. You have to rack your head to find a solution to problems that crops up in the course of time.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, what can you say now for students like me? I'm a law student, or other students who are like struggling during this pandemic. Well, what can, like, is there anything that you can tell us so that we could be encouraged?
Don't waste your time. Continue studying. Read, and understand. Not just read. Like comics, you have to read and understand.
Okay. And do you think institutions can provide like online trainings for those who need more skills development and credentials?
Of course.
Okay. So it must continue so that, you know, the credentials are, you know, we could still collect and achieve credentials while, you know, quarantine.
Yeah.
Okay.
My God, in my case, for instance, I'm retired. I'm on the waiting list. But I continue reading and studying.
All right. Okay. Okay, so is there anything else, Senator, you want to say to our listeners?
Nothing. I answer questions, and I hope I give you the right answers.
Yeah, and no, some of those answers were expected, some of those answers, you know, were a surprise. But I think our listeners know that you try to balance. I know, you know, you're also calculating, you know the context, and at least I know you've been trying to balance your responses. So and I appreciate that.
You know, running the government is a matter of common sense. Your sense of balance, sense of justice, sense of patriotism. There is no perfect country in the world. There's none. The only perfect place is heaven. But that is not after. Here in the temporal world, you deal with diversity all the time. And every problem must be analyzed, and you have choices. And you select the best choice in running your country.
Okay. All right. So, but I think right now the important point right now that among the important points you shared is first is to study. During the time that you studied, you were thinking for your livelihood, not necessarily to enter the government, not necessarily to contradict the government, but to develop one's livelihood.
But my advice to the students of today is concentrate on your studies instead of marching in the streets. That marching will not help you in your future life.
Okay. And okay, so the perspective is for us to have a better career, and the next is for government leaders, we need to boost our economy, boost the energy sector, and we should be more self-reliant in terms of the technologies we're using. So we should tap our local, like our own brains here, like inventors, scientists.
We must have a strategic plan for this country. If you read China, all their writings, from 2000 to now, 20 years, they wanted to become rich. Why did they start that way? Because nothing moves in this world without money. You cannot have an army, you cannot have a navy, you can have an air force without money. You have technology without money. No nation, no state exists without money. That's the first thing to do. If you have money, they will respect you because you can protect yourself, you can defend yourself.
Okay. So yeah. So again, we need to develop our economy. Our country has to have more money, not just for the government but also for the people. And in that way,
Yeah.
we could have a better society. All right. So okay. So, okay. I'm about to end the live video, but please stay there. We'll have a screenshot picture taking later. Okay. So thank you, Senator Enrile, for your time, and we appreciate you that you gave time for this interview. And we hope to hear more from you in your in the coming days. And I'm one of those reading your post, your long post in social media. Uh, and we really appreciate you telling to us these insights. Na even if you're not anymore in government, you're still studying about how to run things. And how old are you again, Senator?
97.
97. And we hope to we look forward for you staying here with us for a longer period of time. So ayun. So okay. So I'll be ending the live video, but please stay there. Stay there. All right. Thank you.